Namo Buddhaya. Today, I'm going to share with you a wonderful and meaningful Dhammapada verse. So, what is Dhammapada? Dhammapada is a set of verses that was preached by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Now, Supreme Buddha used so many ways to preach Dhamma to people. So, one of those ways was he used the verses, right? He preached Dhamma in verses. And also there is another way, which we call the discourses, or we call them suttas or sutras, right? So there are so many ways that Supreme Buddha used to preach and elaborate the Dhamma to people, right? So Dhammapada is a set of verses that was preached by Supreme Buddha, and it contains 423 verses. So today I'm going to share with you one of those verses. This verse Supreme Buddha explains about the mind, right? This verse says, Dunni gahassa lahuno, yatta kamani patino, chittassa damato sadhu, chittang dantang sukhavahang. So what is the meaning of that verse? Dunni gahassa lahuno. It is very difficult to control your mind, to take control over your mind. Yatta kamani patino. It moves swiftly and it lands wherever it feels the desire. Chittassa dhammato sadhu. But it is very good to discipline our mind. It is very good to tame our mind. Why? Chittang dantang sukhavahang. When we tame our mind, when we take control over our thoughts and emotions, then we can have the happiness in our life, right? So people in this society think that they need the freedom to express whatever comes to their mind. Now some people may say like that. They need that freedom. But if you are going to express everything that comes to your mind, right, you will end up as a terrible person, right? So if you express your anger every time when it comes to your mind, what will happen? No one will like you, right? If you express each and every bad thought that comes up to your mind, you will become a bad or an evil person. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to take control over your thoughts. Why? Chittang dantang sukhavahang. When we control our thoughts, only we can have the happiness in our life, right? So it is very good to discipline our mind. Now, making our mind disciplined and taking control over our thoughts and emotions is very hard, right? So for an example, whenever you get up early in the morning, right, when you wake up, is it easy to get up from the bed? No, your mind says to stay on the bed for another 5 minutes. That is what our mind says. But if we listen to our mind, right? If the mind took control over our life, what will happen? We will stay on the bed forever, right? We will stay on the bed for another 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes will be another 1 hour. So that is how it's going on. So you should not listen, and you should not do and speak to every emotion that comes up in your mind, right? You need to have the mental discipline, right? Remember, every successful person who ever lived in this world had the ability to take control over their emotions and not to let the evil emotions and thoughts to take control of their life. They had that discipline. Because of that discipline, they became the great people, right? So if you have the mental discipline, if you need to be great, if you need to be successful in your life, you need to have the mental discipline. So how do we get the mental discipline? It is very simple. All these things are based on practices. The practice is the secret for the mental discipline. So what are the practices that we can do and have in our life to have the mental discipline? The first and the foremost practice that we can practice or do in our life to have the mental discipline is the meditation, right? If you can meditate for at least 5 minutes a day, it will be a great help to take control over your thoughts, right? You can do loving kindness meditation. If you practice the quality of loving kindness, that means you are controlling your thoughts of anger. So if you practice breathing meditation, you can take control over the distracting thoughts that are popping up in your mind. So the best way to take control over our thoughts and have the mental discipline is doing meditation. So practice the meditation at least for 5 minutes a day, right? If it is more than that, that is much better. But at least you can practice 5 minutes meditation per day, and then little by little you can gain the mental discipline, right? So most of the meditators, right, the successful meditators have this mental discipline. So the key to the mental discipline is the meditation, right? And you have to have the idea inside your mind that I must not let every thought that is popping up inside my mind to out, right? So if you are being angry all the time, then you need to make a decision to your life that I'm not going to express my anger hereafter, right? Remember, expressing anger is not something strong. It is not something great. It is a weakness, right? Only weak people express their anger. So you need to take control of your anger because it hurts you more than others. So if you love yourself, you should not be angry. So practice this mental discipline and know that it is very hard to discipline your mind, but through practice, through meditations, and through developing good qualities, you can have the mental discipline in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you have the great opportunity to discipline your mind and find the ultimate happiness in your lives. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai.